We've got awesome mental health advocates, some people I'm really proud to have brought on the show. They come from different backgrounds with different stories. And if you missed their first show, it will be in the episode description, but they will introduce themselves right here on a mental health break. So everyone, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Let's start out with where we're streaming from. On my screen, we have Kendra lined up here first. So Kendra, where are you streaming in from?
I am streaming from North Carolina.
North Carolina, up to Tomi.
Kendra, North Carolina, where?
Well, okay, so Charlotte, but I'm on the outskirts, Mooresville.
I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina.
All right.
Okay, we got to connect, Tomi. We got to connect.
What it's all about. Bronwyn, where are you streaming in from?
I am streaming in from the West Coast, Sacramento, California.
All right. And Claudia?
I'm in St. Louis, Missouri.
All around the country. Thank you for joining us right here on a mental health break. If you're tuning in on the podcast, Happy New Year. We have a few great mental health champions here today. We're going to reintroduce ourselves, and then we're going to talk about mental health present day. As I always try to say multiple times each show, you are not alone. And our champions here today are going to go ahead and let you know that once more. So Claudia, please introduce yourself and what brings you to a mental health break.
I'm Claudia Hawley. I won Patient Advocate of the Year. So I fight for patients to get the medication that their physicians want them to be on, not the ones that insurance companies try to force them into. So we don't do non-medical switches. We don't do any of that. We put up a fight, and then on TikTok, we kind of blast them. So I call out all of the insurance companies on TikTok.
Thank you for sharing. And we will revisit the videos and things that you've created because they're doing a lot of great advocacy work out there. Now, Bronwyn, please introduce yourself.
So I am a licensed psychotherapist, and I have a podcast on anger, and that is my specialty. I find that anger, especially suppressed anger, which we call dissociated anger, tends to be the common denominator among all mental illness. So anxiety, depression, panic, as well as somatic, like headaches, digestive issues, insomnia. And I try to get people to connect with their anger and to realize it's there to give us wisdom and empower us.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And thank you for all the great work you do. And everyone, you just heard about a great new podcast. You're going to hear about one more in just a sec, but make sure you add them to your queue because they are really valuable content. And in the world with tons of information, we're limited with good information. And these shows will provide that for you. Tomi, please introduce yourself.
Thank you for having me, Vince. It's wonderful to be here with such an esteemed group of colleagues. I am an emotional well-being researcher, coach, and consultant, creator of the Emotional Intelligence 3.0 body of work, which is a framework of emotional evolution. How do we get from, A to B in terms of emotional well-being? Creator of the Sacred Gut Punch podcast, which is about emotional resilience. And Bronwyn, I love what you say about anger because in my framework, I tell people the distance between you and the open heart is about 40 miles of anger. You can't go through it. You can't go over it. You can't go around it. You got to go through it.
Such powerful stuff everyone does here. And now last but not least, Kendra, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kendra King. I specialize in sex and porn addiction, affair recovery, and sex therapy. I recently just came back from the Pacific Northwest acquiring my emotionally focused therapist certification. So all things Bronwyn, Tomi, I am in that groove, and just being able to help people better engage in their emotions, communicate them effectively is really a big thing when it just comes to just relationships and themselves. So I'm honored to be back on your platform, Vincent. This is great.
Yes, well, we're honored to have you and everyone. You just heard some introductions from our guests. If it sounds like they can be of assistance to you, be sure to connect with them right here on my LinkedIn page or in the episode description. And for today, as we're recording towards the end of the year, we're going to talk about mental health present day. We can go in a lot of different directions with this. The world is constantly changing and it seems can be more chaotic each and every day if you happen to turn on the news. So we'll start with you, Bronwyn. Let's talk about mental health present day, some things maybe you're experiencing or in your practice.
Well, you brought up the holidays, which are indeed approaching. So let's go there. I would say that, again, the common denominator with the holidays is kind of the common denominator with all the mental illness we started to see with COVID, which is that we're around our family members a whole lot more. And so let's just name that. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that our family members are all bad. It just means that those dynamics are difficult, especially with people we have a history with. And there's stuff that our bodies hold on to that maybe our brain wants to forget about, but our bodies are still there and they are activated because of that history. And so I would just encourage people that is a natural, normal human experience to expect that your body's going to be activated when you're around your family members and to really listen to our bodies because I believe our bodies are always communicating to us. And our goal is to listen, which we call attunement. So self-attunement means to say, hey, Bronwyn, what are you feeling right now? I'm noticing like your neck really hurts suddenly. And, I find that when our neck hurts, we are dissociating from something our throat might want to say. And so, what is it, Bronwyn, that your throat wants to say in fantasy? Because you're not going to actually say it to Aunt Sylvia, but what does your throat want to say in fantasy? Oh, it wants to say blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. I feel you. I hear you. That's valid. And so we can do that for ourselves. It doesn't mean we have to get into any kind of conflict with anyone else. That's a way we can show up for ourselves is just validate those feelings and self-attune.
Thank you for sharing that. And I think it's such an important message, right? We beat ourselves up at times, right? We can often be our own worst critic, our harshest words at ourselves. But I want to encourage everyone to use the words we would say to our best friends, right? Sometimes we don't apply it to ourselves because, well, there's many reasons. I won't speak on behalf of everyone, but Claudia, you're right above her here on the screen. You work in a completely different area. So what are we seeing in your world?
So Julie Bach just retired. So I was promoted to office manager. And with that comes a whole bunch of uncertainty. There's open enrollment coming. Like you said, the holidays and people with chronic conditions experience a lot of loneliness because if you can't see it, a lot of people don't recognize it. And I would say during this time, just try to validate others' feelings, even if you can't see someone's in pain. It's just like acknowledge it. If a family member has a chronic illness, they might look perfectly fine. It doesn't mean they feel perfect.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Maybe letting these people know that we are here to talk, right? We are supportive of them as much as we kid around. We are there for them. So that's a great message. And while I'm on you, I want to talk about some of the work when we originally met, those videos you made to create awareness. It was such amazing work. I'd love for you to share that.
Yeah, we called out insurance companies and got a lot of retaliation. So we used my personal TikTok from 7th grade, it was a Twitter username. So it's the_money636. And if an insurance company is denying a 2-year-old medically life-saving treatment, we're going to call them out. If Blue Cross Blue Shield is not giving a 8-year-old a prosthetic leg because they're going to grow out of it, we're going to call them out because it's absolutely ridiculous. And I think it's very important that everyday people can see what's going on behind the scenes. They think it's instantaneously, a prior authorization. We just have to check one box and it's approved. When in all reality, it's a physician having to give like an entire pop quiz as to why they want to prescribe an indicated medication.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for all the great work you do and everyone here on the panel. Kendra, you just came back from this retreat. Are we seeing any trends? What's happening in your world?
Yes, in my world, a lot of things that are coming up, of course, emotions, but specifically kind of like how Bronwyn expressed the holidays, communication, emotions being triggered, boundaries needing to be set, not knowing how to set boundaries. How do we go into these situations and experiences with family members that may not be able to engage with us in a healthy way? What do we do to recognize how we're feeling first within our bodies and understanding that we may either A, need to express how we feel in an effective way, or B, we need to find some place to kind of calm down, gather ourselves, have an outlet of support, being a friend, being able to just regulate our emotions, because a lot of times we're not naturally taught how to just use our voice, advocate for ourselves. So a lot of that being able to regulate our emotions and talk about them in a safe environment, experiencing emotional safety with people is really coming up right now because it's very emotionally charging right now.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And it seems to be a common theme, right? Letting people know we're there for them, supporting others. So I hope this is your friendly push to continue doing so if you're viewing on tonight. And now, of course, Tomi, what's the latest in the mental health space in your world?
I come at it through the emotional well-being lens, and it's just unfortunately have termed it we're emotionally bankrupt across the globe. Everybody's emotional bank account is overdrawn. Emotional intelligence scores continue to drop. I follow a couple of different global researchers, and right now well-being is at the lowest ever recorded in some of these surveys, with 65% of burnout being experienced by people, and optimism has declined by 8%. I'm not Pollyannish, but I'm optimistic, and I really hate to see the optimism scores going down, right? And then social engagement and life satisfaction are dropping. Global polling shows 70% of people now report they're struggling or suffering, no longer thriving. And that's really, really disappointing because it doesn't have to be that way. And, the holidays always bring up all these expectations we have of ourselves. We're going to go visit the family and nobody's going to fight, right? Well, that's Pollyannish. That's not optimism, right? At least in my world. And so, what I like to offer my clients is, first of all, we really stink at self-care. So tell me 3 things you're going to do for self-care when you go visit the family, right? 1, make space. What happens is the emotional well is full. We're up to here, and one little thing sends us over the edge. So for me, it's about, I got to make space for whatever's about to happen presently. And that could be meditation. That could be just a simple mindfulness moment. It could be going for a walk in nature or making sure you take that yoga class before you go have breakfast with the family. But what self-care things are you going to do that will help you make space? 2, be willing to walk away. Just because somebody baits you doesn't mean you have to respond to that. So those feel like 2 really important things, right? Make the space, don't get baited, and then some other self-care things. Like for me, I love that big soaking tub with the lavender bath salts, and leave me alone for 30 minutes and I'll come back refreshed.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. And now I want to stay on you for a sec. We're talking about tips, right? We're going to go around the horn, talk about some tips, but now specifically for the new year, right? We're overwhelmed. We're setting all these resolutions. We're trying to get up to a good start. What's a piece of advice you can offer our mental health champions to not go too fast, right? And make sure that they stay mentally healthy along the way?
So Vince, it's a beautiful question, but the first thing I tell my clients is don't make any resolutions. Please don't, because the only thing you're going to do is feel failure if and when it doesn't happen. I like to pick themes, right? And sometimes the theme doesn't come to me until March and it's picked me.
Yeah.
So it's really about a theme of personal growth for the year. What do you want to live into? So don't make resolutions, create themes that you want to live into. And that lowers the pressure a little bit. The second thing, the U.S. Surgeon General says we're in the middle of a social isolation and loneliness epidemic. Put your phone down. Have a conversation with a person. Don't text them. Engage someone for real, face to face.
I hope you're enjoying today's show as much as I am leading the discussion. Remember to subscribe to stay current on our shows. Thank you for sharing all that, such incredible words. Now, Bronwyn, what's some advice you can offer our audience?
Well, Tomi, can I piggyback on what you shared?
Go right ahead.
Okay. I love create space. And I want to add to that, another dimension. When we take that walk or that bath or what have you, to use that time to reflect. What I have found so helpful for myself personally, and this is what I advocate for my clients, is to reflect on the stuff we don't want to reflect on. So I'll give you an example. If I have a fight with my daughter who's 21, I want to, an hour later when I've calm down, I'm going to take time to reflect on what the hell just happened? Like, why did I get so activated? What is that in me? And, I learn so much about myself and my own triggers when I do that. And that gives me wisdom to understand myself, to self attune, to know more about what my needs are and whatnot. And I think instead of just meditating, clearing our minds, I think humans do even better when we reflect on ourselves and what makes us human, and to not shame ourselves in that process, to be like, I'm human. Humans get triggered. We all do. And that's okay. And I need to understand myself more and give myself that grace, that Claudia brought up. Give it to others and give it to me. And the other thing I wanted to add, reaching out to others, that we can all just learn to really listen to each other. Because when I reach out to someone, right now I only have like one friend that I will consistently reach out to, because so many of us, when that person reaches out to us, we want to try to fix it, and we don't end up listening because we don't think that listening does fix it. And yet listening is exactly what does fix it. And so I want to encourage everyone, when someone's reaching out to us, let's just listen and validate. Let's not give advice. Let's not say, hey, we'll look at it from this other perspective. No, let's just listen and go, yeah, thank you for sharing that. That makes a lot of sense. I totally see why you feel that way.
I love the overall message, of course, supporting others, but being in tune with ourselves. I try to often share mental health is not a one size fits all. Some things are going to work for you that don't work for others. So trying to know what our strengths are, know where the areas we can improve on are, and then we can make such a great plan. I absolutely love that. Thank you. We'll go right up to Claudia. Claudia, what's some advice you can offer?
Oh man, theirs is really good. I would just say don't be afraid to ask for help either. If there's a situation where, like, especially with insurance is insanely complicated. And the more you're educated, the more you can advocate for yourself. So if there's somebody that you trust, reach out to them and be like, could you go over the basics with me? And then you're going to have more confidence to advocate for yourself, because they have like these weird tricks where they try to lead you off the phone. And it's just like you have to have the willpower to just listen to the horrific music, and by the end, you'll get to somebody. Just like anything else, stick through it, and you'll make it through.
As you said, the horrific music, I think we all played our own version of that music in our heads. So keep up the great work. And now, of course, Kendra, what's some advice you can offer our audience?
Yes, so I'm going to piggyback all these wonderful ladies with the grace. Yes, give yourself grace. That is very important. I think as a society, as a whole, we have these unrealistic expectations, and we're constantly feeling pressured to show up in ways that sometimes we don't have the capacity to do so. So I like how Tomi shared being able to not have resolutions. I second that. Do not make resolutions. They're not helpful. However, what you can do is commit to engaging in something that you feel good about and that's beneficial for you. Just try it one time a week. Let's just do it one time. I tell my clients all that. I'm like, if you did it one time and you have the desire to do it more, guess what? You already met your goal. You can just keep doing that weekly, and then it could build up into something else. When it comes to what Bronwyn expressed, when it comes to family, the trickiness is forgiveness, right? A lot of people look at forgiveness like, oh, well, I'm not in the space to forgive them and this, that, and the third. That's fine. But forgiveness is not for them. It's to liberate you. It's to liberate you. Just because you forgive someone does not mean you have to continue to engage with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can establish that boundary. You can figure out what you feel comfortable in doing when it comes to that relationship, whether it's ending it, whether it's taking time away. You have the control. You can control what you do. That is all. Anything else, that's on the other people.
Yeah.
So I would just highly kind of incorporate those things in regards to just being able to show up for yourself and for others.
I mean, the messages tonight are unbelievable. And I love what you said right there at the end, showing up for yourself, right? It's okay to say no, right? You don't have to say yes to everything. It's okay if you do and you're enjoying it along the way, but oftentimes we'll put other things in place of, before we talked about self-care, right? We want to make sure that we're doing the things for us to improve our self-care. And Kendra, we're going to stay right here with you. As we look into the new year, what's one thing you're really looking forward to in the year 2026?
To be honest with you, this will probably be the first year where I have not made any solid plans. Like, I just want to go into it knowing that I have experienced so many things this year that were unexpected, that were emotionally impactful, that shaped me and changed me. And so I'm just like, let me just not look at this new year as something that I have to just do all these things. I can just actually flow. For me, that's a lot because I can be a little bit OCD and structured when it comes to my accomplishments and all the things that I want to do. And it's just like, I'm at the space now. I don't care. I just want to just enjoy life. Like, it's so stressful to be a planner and have these expectations that may not go the way I would want them to go. And I'm just like, I just want to flow. I'm all about flowing right now. So that is what I look forward to when it comes
I
to.
love that. And I hope the year brings you all the happiness and great, wonderful surprises that you deserve. And I can certainly relate being very hard on myself with certain goals and things. And it's important now to remember there is more to life, right? I've been making sure I'm not behind the computer every single day of week anymore. And I'm going out and enjoying things. And of course, as we're recording, my Jets got their first win finally this week, right? That's mental health day where it's just end the suffering, usually JETS, but last week we got the win, and that's my mental health break where I know I am under no circumstances on the computer. I've got my wings. I'm just hanging out. I'm enjoying the game, and whether they're losing is good for my mental health or not. My whole life, right? I'm 34. I think we won the division twice, so I'm accustomed to a certain lifestyle as a Jets fan. But we'll just keep going up and around the horn here. Tomi, what's on your agenda for the new year?
That's such a beautiful question. I was sitting here. So, Kendra, I loved your response, and I think mine's a little bit like that. The two things I want to deepen into as practices for 2026 are one, simply being in the present moment. The present moment is so sufficient. There's nothing wrong with me or anybody else in the present moment. My anxiety, my depression, my whatever comes when I try to look backwards or look forward. So just let me be in the present moment. The second thing is, so my research on emotional well-being is leading me to is understanding that there's a cadence to every relationship. Harmony, disharmony, repair. It's not that we're never going to not have the disharmony. We are always going to have tension. And can I be masterful? Can I be effective at negotiating the tension no matter what it is? Because that's where I'm really going to have the satisfying and full life. To name the tension, to speak into it, and not care that someone has a different opinion or judgment from me, but to know that we've come together and the tension may still exist, but at least we named it and talked about it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I think
Like-
everyone here can agree to that. I mean, Tomi, everyone, you're all such experts in your field and such great people. I'm so honored to really bring this group together. And of course, especially excited for Tomi over here and Kendra being in the same state.
Same
So that's
state.
really, really cool. Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? Podcasting is a beautiful thing. You connect with people all around the world, and you don't have to do it with me, but everyone out there, it's a great way to get your message to a larger audience. And Claudia, what's on your agenda for the new year?
Me. I'm on the agenda. I
Yay.
need to make sure that I'm doing things that I actually enjoy as well and ensure that I'm still advocating using my voice, even though there may be some restrictions because I know how to tick off the right people, but still finding a way to help patients and help people while still taking care of me and getting the podcast up and going because what I really do love is helping people. So I would say I'm on my agenda and focusing on balance is a huge one too.
I absolutely love that. Self-care coming up again, everyone. Remember, there is no health without mental health. There is no productivity without mental health, right? I think we can all understand the negative mental health feelings and how hard it may seem, but once you get back on track, I think it was Kendra before, one thing at a time, you said, right? Don't worry about the big end goal that can be scary. Let's take actionable, manageable steps to get us a little closer there, right? If we're going to work out, let's not do 100 push-ups today. Let's do 2. Tomorrow, let's go for 3, right? You do a walk for 5 minutes today. Let's get 6 or 7 the next day. So amazing words. And now, before we get everyone's contact info, Bronwyn, what do you have going on in 2026?
Yeah, I guess I'm with all of you guys. I don't see the new year as like one more thing to do. I think that is how our society for some reason sees it. And I think, having resolutions is like some external arbitrary metric we're putting on ourselves. And I like what Tomi said earlier, like, what if her resolution comes to her in March? Like trusting our gut. I was recently out of the country for a couple weeks and I came back and like, what I wanted to do is I wanted to go to the grocery store and I wanted to cook myself dinner because I hadn't cooked for myself in 2 weeks. And that is self-nurture, like some people see cooking for themselves as a pain. I see it as a gift because there are hungry people in the world and I get to go to a grocery store loaded with food and pick out what I like and make it. And it's so nurturing. And so lately it's darker earlier. I find myself going to sleep at like 8:30. That is my gift to myself. Is that going to change because the calendar changes? No, I'm just going to keep doing that. This is the time of year to hibernate and I'm going to do some hibernating. So I'm with all of you guys.
Well, I love the early bedtime. That's my self-care. Right? I'm always doing that. I'm in bed 8:39, but I'm also up at 3:30, 4. I'm getting better where it's not an everyday thing now that the team has grown to a nice place and I've got some great people supporting the mission. But I'm always been a productive person in the morning. No phone calls, no texts, no emails. I'm not on social, right? We're just locked in and getting it done. But again, what works for some does not work for everyone, right? My lifestyle comes with plenty of social sacrifice. So now we're trying to get that back as we focus on self-care right here in the new year. Everyone, thank you for joining us. Remember to subscribe to stay current. But first, we've got some great contact info. Bronwyn, we were just on you. Where can we find you online? And also, if you have podcasts, books, socials, whatever you want to share, please let our audience know.
Yeah. So I have a YouTube channel with my name, Bronwyn Schweigert, and then I have a podcast called Angry at the Right Thing.
Thank you for sharing. Everyone that's angry at the right thing, go download it now. We'll go up to Claudia.
So you can find me mostly under C_money, MONEY 636. Everything's kind of tied back to it. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, all the good stuff.
And as she mentions TikTok, make sure you go to her page and check out some of these videos. You'll see the crazy views on them, and they made such an impact. So now around the horn, Tomi.
You can find us on LinkedIn. Emotional Intelligence 3.0 is our business page. You can find the Sacred Gut Punch on Spotify, Apple, wherever you find your podcast. Sacred Gut Punch will be there. And you can also find me at tommybryan.com. If you want to check out our emotional well-being research, you can do that at the Center for Emotional Wellbeing. And if you want to check out our family of assessments on emotional well-being, you can do that at bryaninsights.com.
Thank you for sharing a lot of resources. And now, Kendra, please finish us off. Where can we find more about you online?
Yes, you can find me at thehealinghearttherapycenter.com. You can email me at Kendra at thehealinghearttherapycenter.com, or you can just Google Kendra King, Charlotte, North Carolina, because I'm the only one that comes up. So yeah, fine.
There it is. Everyone get typing away, right? Go connect with these amazing mental health advocates. My name is Vincent A. Lanci, and I want to thank you for keeping this show a top 5% global podcast. I can't do it without you, the amazing listeners, amazing guests, a few amazing ones here today, helping me create a very special New Year's episode for everyone. And be sure to look out later in the year. We'll get them back on the show for individual episodes. And we're brought to you today by Coming Alive podcastproduction.com. I'm wishing everyone an amazing 2026 ahead. And with that, we are signing off all around the country. Thank you, everyone, for joining me again.
Bye. Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, it was wonderful to meet you guys. Vince, thanks for bringing us all together.
Yes.
How lovely.
I feel like I
Right,
made
we'll do
friends.
a quick picture
my
here.
God.
Everyone smile, all right? Everyone do a quick smile here. 1, 2, 3. All right. And with that, we'll leave that in the end of the episode for some laughs there. And with that, we're off here on a mental health break. Be sure to subscribe to stay current, and we'll see you next week right here on a mental health break.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode. I would love to hear your feedback. What did you love? What do you want to see more of? Are there any questions you would like me to ask the guests who come on the show? This show is not possible without you, the amazing listeners, so please email us at podcastsbylanci@gmail.com and let us know what you think. We'll also feature you on a later show. Please remember to subscribe to stay current with our amazing community of guests who will continue to come on the show, sprinkled in with solo episodes from me, Vincent A. Lanci. With that, I look forward to introducing more shows to you each and every week. And with that, we're signing off today. Enjoy the episodes and make it a great day ahead.